Mrs. Francis Harris Petition, 1699 by Jonathan Swift. This the most humorous example of vers de societe in the English language illustrates the position of a parson, in a family of distinction at that period, W.E.B. To their excellencies, the Lords Justices of Ireland, won the humble petition of Francis Harris, who must starve and die a maid if it miscarries, humbly showeth that I went to warm myself in Lady Betta's 2 chamber, because I was cold, and I had in a purse £7 4 and 6pence, besides farthings in money and gold. So because I had been buying things for my lady last night, I was resolved to tell my money to see if it was right. Now you must know, because my trunk has a very bad lock, therefore all the money I have, which God knows, is a very small stock, I keep in my pocket tid, about my middle next my smock. So when I went to put up my purse, as God would have it, my smock was unripped, and instead of putting it into my pocket down, it slipped. Then the bell rung, and I went down to put my lady to bed, and God knows, I thought my money was as safe as my maidenhead. So when I came up again, I found my pocket feel very light, but when I searched and missed my purse, Lord, I thought I should have sunk outright. Lord, madam, says Mary, how I do indeed, says I, never worse. But pray, Mary, can you tell what I have done with my purse? Lord help me, says Mary, I never stir it out of this place. Nay, said I had it in Lady Betta's chamber, that's a plain case. So Mary got me to bed, and covered me up warm. However, she stole away my garters, that I might do myself no harm. So I tumbled and tossed all night, as you may very well think, but hardly ever set my eyes together, or slept a wink. So I was a-dreamed, methought, that I went and searched the folks round, and in a corner of Mrs. Duke's 3 box tid in a rag the money was found. So next morning we told Whittle 4, and he fell a-swearing. Then my Dame Wadger 5 came, and she, you know, is thick of hearing. Dame, said I as loud as I could bawl, do you know what a loss I have had? Nay, says she, my Lord Calways, 6 folks are all very sad for my Lord Dromedary. 7 comes a Tuesday without fail. Pug, said I, but that's not the business that I ail. Says Carrie 8, says he, I have been a servant this 25 years come spring, and in all the places I lived I never heard of such a thing. Yes, says the steward 9, I remember when I was at my Lord Shrewsbury's, such a thing as this happened just about the time of gooseberries. So I went to the party suspected, and I found her full of grief. Now, you must know, of all things in the world I hate a thief. However, I was resolved to bring the discourse slyly about Mrs. Duke. Said I, here's an ugly accident has happened out tease, not that I value the money 3 skips of a louse, but the thing I stand upon is the credit of the house. Tease true £7 4 and 6pence, makes a great hole in my wages, besides, as they say, service is no inheritance in these ages. Now Mrs. Duke, you know, and everybody understands that though 'tis hard to judge, yet money can't go without hands. The devil take me, said she, blessing herself, if ever I saw it. So she roared like a bedlam, as though I had called her all to naught. So you know, what could I say to her any more? I e'en left her, and came away as wise as I was before. Well, but then they would have had me gone to the cunning man. No, said I, tease the same thing, the chaplain will be here anon. So the chaplain came in. Now the servants say he is my sweetheart, because he's always in my chamber, and I always take his part. So as the devil would have it, before I was aware out, I blundered. Parson, said I, can you cast a nativity when a body's plundered? Now you must know he hates to be called parson, like the devil truly says. He, Mrs. Nab, it might become you to be more civil if your money be gone, as a learned divine says. Dicey, you are no text for my handling, so take that from me. I was never taken for a conjurer before, it have you to know. Lord, said I, don't be angry, I am sure I never thought you, so you know I honor the cloth I designed to be a parson's wife. I never took one in your coat for a conjurer in all my life. With that he twisted his girdle at me like a rope, as who should say, now you may go hang yourself for me, and so went away. Well, I thought I should have swoon. Roman 500, Lord, said I, what shall I do? I have lost my money, and shall lose my true love too. Then my lord called me. Harry, said my lord, don't cry, I'll give you something toward thy loss. And says my lady, so will Roman 1. Oh, but said I, what if after all the chaplain want come too? For that he said, an't please your excellencies, I must petition you. The premises tenderly considered, I desire your excellency's protection, and that I may have a share in next Sunday's collection, and over and above that, I may have your excellency's letter with an order for the chaplain aforesaid, or instead of him, a better, and then your poor petitioner both night and day or the chaplain for tease his trade 14, as in duty bound shall ever pray. Footnote 1 The Earl of Berkeley and the Earl of Galway. Footnote 2 Lady Betty Berkeley afterwards German. Footnote 3 Wife to one of the footmen. Footnote 4 The Earl of Berkeley's valet. Footnote 5 The old deaf housekeeper. Footnote 6 Galway. Footnote 7 The Earl of Drogheda, who with the primate was to succeed the two earls, then Lords Justices of Ireland. Footnote 8 Clerk of the Kitchen. Footnote 9 Ferris, whom the poet terms in his journal to Stella 21st Dec 1710, a beast, and a scoundrel dog. See Prose Works Roman 2p. 79 W.E.B. Footnote 10 A usual saying of her Swift. Footnote 11 Swift. Footnote 12 Dr. Bolton, one of the chaplains Faulkner. Footnote 13 A cant word of Lord and Lady Berkeley to Mrs. Harris. Footnote 14 Swift elsewhere terms his own calling a trade. See his letter to Pope 29th, Sept 1725, cited in Introduction to Gulliver Prose Works, Vol Roman 8 p. Roman 25 W.E.B.